Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Bryn. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of the MIAA, and I'm very excited to be here today with Baylee GalanBrowne of Calvin. Baylee, how are you today?
I'm very well. How about you?
I'm good. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Baylee. I am a senior at Calvin. I play women's basketball here at Calvin, and I am going to be graduating with a mechanical engineering degree.
Being a senior, you have obviously had some time within the MIAA and Division III. So talk to me about, your favorite part about being in the conference and some of your favorite rivalries.
Well, I'm not originally from Michigan, so I got thrown into the MIAA not knowing much at all. I think that it is an extremely competitive league for sure. At least on the women's basketball side, we have some very good teams that are nationally ranked. Multiple years that I have been in college. I think it goes without saying, being from Calvin, your favorite rivalry is always got to be the Hope Calvin rivalry. I think something really cool about that though is like it's a rivalry that is like nationally recognized. Like I don't know how I didn't hear about it, I guess, from being from Colorado, but apparently like at least on the men's side for basketball, it's been ranked up there with some Division I rivalries, which I think is super duper cool.
Looking more at the Division III side of things as a whole, what makes Division III special in your eyes?
When I was graduating high school, I really wanted to continue my sport, but school was also really, really important for me. I wanted to make sure that I was getting that education because as much as I love basketball, I know it's coming to an end and I need to have the skills to be able to set myself up well in the future. And I think Division III has a great balance of academics and athletics for sure.
It sounds like you have a pretty busy schedule with, studying mechanical engineering and playing basketball, but what hobbies do you have outside of that?
I really like the outdoors, being from Colorado. So any snow stuff is totally up my alley. I was a snowboarder as a kid and just love being outside. But when it does get a little cold, like it is now, I really like to knit and crochet. I just taught myself how to crochet, and so that's a fun thing to do. And then just sit and watch Netflix. I guess I love to binge. I'm binging Grey's Anatomy right now. So
Your coach mentioned that, as a group, some of you have endured some pretty, difficult times, whether it's, coaching changes and then the pandemic. How have you managed to push ahead and just, continue to focus on your career at Calvin?
it definitely wasn't easy. I think looking back on it in retrospect, being able to lean on your teammates and recognize that everyone is going through basically the same thing. I mean, we're all on our own journeys, but I think that especially with my class, being able to be like, hey, like this is something that we're all going through. Like, how are you feeling? How are you dealing with it? Like what brings you joy today? I think that really has helped. Coach Christner is all about connections and making sure that we're connected with each other. And I think that especially in the pandemic, like at least that first year, 2021, whatever, when we were wearing masks and you never knew if you're going to be at practice or not, like having that connection, being able to connect was super important. And I think that also helped with all of our coaching changes and being able to just roll with the punches, I guess. It's just, you kind of feel like, a lot has been thrown your way, but I think we all have become more resilient because of it.
You might have a similar answer to what you just told me, but what would you say to, other student athletes out there that might be going through similar situations involving, difficult times and changes that you can't necessarily control?
Yeah, I think it's important really to lean on others. And I think it's important to be open with others. I think that a lot of the struggle that we had not necessarily could have been avoided because there are things, like you said, that you can't control. But I think that would have been a little less pain had we been a little bit more open with each other sooner. I think that it's hard, especially in a pandemic that forces everyone to kind of go separate ways and become isolated literally. It's important to realize like there are people out there that are going through the same thing as you and that they can support you in what you're doing.
Your coach also mentioned that you are one of 4 Colorado natives on the team. Did you know any of the players prior to coming to Calvin? I mean, that's kind of a unique situation where, yeah, you have other out-of-state student athletes, but you are all 4 from Colorado.
Yes. So Stephanie Coors and I both live in Evergreen. We live about 10 minutes from each other, but she went to a private Christian school down in Denver, and I went to the public school in Evergreen. So I've known her since like middle school, but we met in travel ball. So we played together in travel ball, and then when we hit high school, we played against each other in high school. Sarah Neely, who's a year younger than Steph and I, she played at Valor Christian as well with Stephanie, but she also played on the same travel team. So she was a year younger than us. So I like was in the gym with her, but I never played with her like I did with Stephanie. Abby Cooley, we've talked about it before. I think that we played each other when we were really, really little, because when we came to Calvin, McKay Vansicle was also on the team, and the two of them came from the same high school and played like the same travel ball team. And I think we met like their really small little league, I guess, little team when we were younger, but we never played each other in high school because they were in a bigger division. They had a bigger public school. So Coach Winkleman had brought us together once for a training session. I know Stephanie and Sarah, what is his name? It's like Derek Griffin, I think. Derek Griffin is a trainer out in Colorado that went to Calvin. He was really well known in Calvin for his shooting capabilities. So they all trained with him. And I remember going to a training session and like at least saying hi. So I knew the faces. But when I committed to Calvin and came here, like I honestly thought I was gonna be the only one from Colorado. And I was like totally okay with that because I wanted to go someplace away from home, which Calvin definitely was. And then, but I don't regret coming here at all. I think that they like having them around has been super, super duper cool. And, you know, it's kind of nice to be able to talk about like the Denver Broncos and the Denver Nuggets and just players that we had played against or similar rivals. Even if we didn't go to the same school, it's nice to talk about those things in the locker room for sure.
Does that, create a different sort of bond for you guys all being from, Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't know anything about the Calvin Hope rivalry, and that's like a huge thing out here. So being able to bond over that and kind of talk about like, hey, do you miss this or do you miss that, or just like those little quirky things in the locker room. Like it wasn't like we were making our own clique or anything. It was just like some parts of conversation that just the 4 of us understood that was kind of cool for sure.
How was that adjustment, being so far away from friends and family?
Yeah. Well, in my search for a school, I wanted a school that was far away from home just because I felt like this is the best time to do it. I don't have kids. I don't have a job. I can go wherever really I want to go that will take me. So I was already kind of looking for it, but I also wanted a place that was small enough that felt like home. So I had that cliche thing happen to me when I was choosing my college of, this is like a home away from home, like this feels right. And I think that's what Calvin had for me, was it felt like home because it was so small and the professors are there for you and can connect with you. So they were there. I had a support system, but I definitely did miss my family and there's just some things about Colorado. I mean, yes, it's snowing right now in Michigan, but the snow in Michigan is just different than it is in Colorado, because you'll get like, I don't know, you'll get like 3 feet of snow in Colorado, and the next day it'll be 65 and sunny, whereas Michigan, that doesn't typically happen. So, there definitely were parts that I missed, and I missed my family, but I think that going into college, I wanted to have a little bit of freedom and try something new. So I wasn't as homesick as maybe some of my other teammates were.
What is your favorite part about being in Michigan?
Well, my mom is from Ann Arbor originally. So I grew up a University of Michigan fan. Like I knew the fight song when I was 2. So I think that the Michigan State like rivalry and being able to be in the state and have people like be so hyped about it like I was when I was a kid is super, super cool.
Well, Baylee, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and best of luck to you and your team the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Thank you.